Hi, Mona. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm okay.
That's awesome.
Mona, I worked with Mona for the last year and a half. How long you been here?
Since 2012.
Okay, so a little longer than a year and a half. But she's in the storage area. She works with the disk space and computer storage. So she really doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's only one step up from a developer. I mean, seriously.
Really?
Yeah, really. All right, so break it down. What's your demographics? What give me. You don't have to give me your age, but
I'm over 40.
Oh, see, you didn't have to say that, but I'm gonna leave that in there.
Black female. I was raised in New Jersey.
Jersey. Yeah.
And currently live in the sticks. I work in the
IT field.
In the IT field.
You have your own company? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just started my own company in 2012.
Making mad stacks of cash.
Making a little bit. Not
all
mad.
Right. Enough to pay for all that extra gas you're burning as you're flying down the highway.
Yes. Been in IT for 16 years.
Okay.
Started at help desk, and from there I went to Unix administration.
Okay. What'd you do before? You got into IT.
Before I got into IT, I was security.
Okay.
Government security. Okay. I did that from 91 until...
Physical security or IT?
Physical security.
Okay.
I did that from 91 until 2012.
Okay.
So I did IT and security at the same time.
Okay. So you were carrying guns around facilities?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. In that case, in case of apocalypse and I'm dead, there it is.
Okay.
So, all right, just so you know.
Okay.
I'm guessing do you carry in your
Nope.
car? Nothing?
Nope. No.
Really?
Nah. Different rules apply to people of color.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're going to go there already
Yeah.
now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, to avoid that, I try to encourage my husband to do the same.
So, you're married to a black man?
Married to a black man.
And he carries?
He has a concealed weapons permit, but I discourage him from carrying.
What does that mean, you discourage him?
I say things like,
leave your gun at home.
You're a black man. When you get pulled over,
okay,
and the immediate, depending on who you're dealing with, the threat is that first that you're a black man, so you have all these things that come with you,
okay,
that people think. So you don't want to be. They already see you as dangerous, so you don't want to be adding to the situation. So
okay, so if in your experience the cops are already going to see him or you, or black folks in general, as dangerous, they're already going to assume that he's carrying a gun whether he's licensed or not. So
Not necessarily. You're dangerous without having. I mean, if you look at the news, they shoot unarmed black people all the time. So,
okay.
You don't have to have a weapon to be dangerous. So why add to that?
Okay.
So if you say, look, I have a concealed carry weapon and it's in the car with me, that's an issue. That's a problem. To me, I think that's a problem. So until we can at least have a better dialogue and people start seeing people for they're just people.
Well, is that a people and a racial thing, or is that a police thing? Because I've been pulled up, and granted, I've got EMS stickers on my car. I don't have one of those fancy license plates, but I got EMS stickers on my car. I've been pulled over more than once. I won't say how many times, but I've been pulled over more than once. And it's never been an issue. I mean, the officer didn't even bring it up. And I know that I know it's on information that comes up when they run my license.
Because it's not an issue.
Right. Oh, because I'm white?
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Because it's not an issue. You're seen as peer.
Okay.
Friend. You're seen as friend.
Okay.
You're not seen as threat. So, and you know what? I think it just, you're afraid or wary of things that you're just not familiar with. So if you're not raised around people of color, or if you're not,
But I was raised around people.
No, that's you.
I mean, I wasn't raised in the slums of
right.
Of
but that's you. A lot of people that police you, people, a lot of them aren't raised around people of color, and the ones that are of color that approach you, they have the same mentality as the ones. So it's a system.
The cops, you mean?
Yeah, the cops. Okay. It doesn't matter if they're black or white.
Well, I've been pulled over by black cops before.
Right, but I'm saying for us, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. It's going to be you're not going to get, I don't want to say that they'll shoot you quicker, but it doesn't, they have that same mentality. It's us against them, and that comes from a lack of community policing and not knowing who the people that you are that you're dealing with. And so all of those stereotypes fall to the side, and you can treat a person like a person. That's all it is. It's just exposure.
Well, as far as cops go, I also think a lot of them come from the military. I mean, you were in the military. Mm-hmm. Well, you were in the Air Force.
And the Army.
Oh, okay. So you were in the military.
Uh-huh.
I was giving Stephanie a hard time about that. So I don't know if you were deployed, but a lot of these cats now are deployed, and it really is an us versus them mentality. So, and then they just either never snap out of it or never for whatever reason come away from it. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm a police fanboy. We've had these discussions, and
right.
But at the same time, I'm trying to understand their mentality versus your mentality versus my mentality. Because as far as I see things, yes, white people are. I'll say white people are programmed, socially programmed to think everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. But on the other hand, I also think that a good portion of the black population is also socially programmed, or what have you, to think suspiciously of anything that's going on. Oh, okay, well, there's a cop, so he's automatically going to look at it.
I think it has to do with, I think it has to do with, I'll give you a case in point.
Okay.
I have two sons. They're black men now. I wanted them to have a better relationship with the police and not see them as an enemy. Okay. So I talk to them. However, what they experience is something different. So even as young as elementary school, my youngest son walks to elementary school. He walks with his friend, and they go to school. It's around the corner. So every day he was telling me, "Mom, this cop is harassing me." I'm like, "What do you mean this cop is harassing me?" Well, he keeps following us, and then he says we better get to school, and we're not even late, and he stops us, and he's, I don't like him. Son, that's one police officer. That's not all of them, and I'll deal with it. Okay. So, but I said, no, I before I said I'll deal with it, I said, look, just I didn't think anything of it. Look, just ignore him and go do what you got to do. When I seen his report card, he has all these tardies. I said, why do you have all these tardies, son? Oh, the cop keeps stopping me. So I have to go to the police department and tell them, the little, whoever was in charge. This was a little township, so it had a chief of police right there. Yeah. I told him what was going on, and I don't appreciate it, and it's bad enough that I'm trying to teach him that cops are friends, but this guy is not teaching him that, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to change that.
Did you get the officer's name or anything?
Oh, he knew who it was.
Oh, okay.
This is a township.
Okay.
He knew who he was. So
there are 3 officers,
right,
and one of them was sick. So yeah, okay.
So he said, "Oh, he's just a little overzealous." I said, "You know what? That's the issue, and that's the problem. You keep putting these bad things out here. You're making excuses for him, and this is unacceptable. My son is in elementary school. What is he possibly doing?" He said, "Man, we won't happen again." So he didn't stop him again, but he would grit on him when he ride by. That stuff sticks in his head. Now, on top of that, now he's a grown up. He's a young man. He's stopped by the police. Mom, I'm driving one way. The cop passed me, turn around, and just stops me. For what? How do I even explain this? What did I do? So, you were doing this or that. Okay, well then where's the ticket? What you got in the car? blah, blah, blah. See, we don't have anything in the car. You can look and see we don't have anything in the car. Mm-hmm. Well, whatever, he threatens him a little bit and tells him to go on his way. If that was a legitimate stop, where's the ticket? Where's the ticket? My other son, which is more of a drama queen, mm-hmm. he gets stopped all the time, and his car is junky. So what do? They take him out of the car, have him sitting on the side of the road, mm-hmm. and he doesn't care. He thinks it's funny, and have him search all of his stuff and say, "Oh, you done? Okay."
Oh, he lets him search.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, clean that.
But you don't have
clean that shit up for me while you're at it.
So he's sitting up, but they don't have they make it seem like you don't have a choice. So they're not going to challenge you. You do have a choice.
Right, absolutely. But it's up to you to know your rights.
They do. But the tone of the conversation is, let me just let this man search my stuff so I can get on about my business. And that's what happens. This is not just people that have, now it's people that have come back from war. Mm-hmm. But this has been happening forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you listen back to comedy routines on Richard Pryor, he says it all the time. He's like, he has a thing of can we break one? Oh, I think we broke one. Can you check the manual? Yeah, you could break a black person, right? So,
break a black person? Okay.
So
can you break? Okay.
It wasn't actually said like that, right? But that's what's been going on forever. But we haven't been heard. So now that there's cameras, mm-hmm. oh my God, these things are happening. So it's always been. So when you say suspicious, but if you see it and grow up around it, how could you not be? It's something that happens to you or somebody that you know on a regular basis.
Well, I grew up in PG County, mm-hmm. and county department there, black and white, was known. Yeah, they're not exactly known for escorting little old ladies across the street kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I got yanked out. The one time I got pulled out of my car, it was actually a park police officer at the baseball game. There's a minor league baseball stadium, mm-hmm. and he was just straight up being a dick. Mm-hmm. He was a black officer, but right. The other three officers around him were white. Mm-hmm. And I had my baseball collared shirt on. Mm-hmm. They asked me, where do I work? Really? I'm on the street leading out of the stadium. There's mm-hmm. nothing else on the street. There's nowhere to go.
Right.
So you're going to ask me? And I knew they were dicking with me because I'd seen them, they were the park police. They're mm-hmm. they sit there and they run their engines and they, play games and do whatever. And I knew they were dicking with me, mm-hmm. but I didn't take that as a black cop stopping a white guy. Mm-hmm. I was probably a dick. I'm not gonna, say I wasn't. I was a teenager. I was a dick. Mm-hmm. Show me one teenager that isn't a dick.
We don't get chances. Okay. Look, for the most part, case in point, have your parents ever told you, look, have the talk. The talk is, you see a police officer, keep your hands here, don't move, if they don't move or don't reach for anything, and then if he tells you to do something, then you say, sir, I'm getting ready to do something. If he wants to argue, no matter what he's saying, just always have a calm demeanor, always address him as sir, and you'll get out of there with your life. That is the conversations that we have with our children.
Well, my folks didn't say that to me, but in EMS, other police, they're officers who volunteer fire department, mm-hmm. Who were either EMTs or firefighters. So I've talked to other officers, and they've told me the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just okay, but
how's that? That's crazy. So
again, that goes back to that whole us versus. Well, the Supreme Court has come out and said that they don't have to protect us.
And what are they there for?
Well, that's a good question.
So
protect the criminals, I guess, from street justice. But I mean, it's they don't. And if you noticed, a lot of them have taken that slogan off their cars and off of their. Mm-hmm. They're not there to protect and serve.
And they shouldn't be police officers.
No, well, I mean, the police departments in general are not there to do that. They're there to basically keep the peace, or to some degree, keep order as they see it.
Right. All of that is abstract. So it has something to do with perception.
Yeah.
Because me keeping the peace, if I'm a cop and I have that attitude. Me keeping the peace is do what I say. I'm the law. Do what I say. I don't want to hear anything from your mouth. So that is keep the peace in the general terms for
in a general term. But again, it's also up to us to know our rights. Like, oh, okay, you pulled me over. Yes, I was. Like I said, I speed, and we've talked about how fast we go. Yep. We do speed, yes. Am I doing 56 and a 55? Yes. Technically, he can pull me over. Does he have to give me a ticket? No, he doesn't. But he can pull me. Sure, I don't want to be sexist.
Right. There's women out there too, yes.
Some of them are hot. Anyway, but you can't say that. Oh my goodness. If you do the speed limit, you're going to get run over. And if you run the risk of getting pulled over and given a ticket. Can they search your car? No. Tell them no. I've got a dash cam. I turn my
don't say no.
Why not?
Because that's just what we do. Because we might not be able to walk away from that. So if I'd rather you just do whatever it is you're gonna do. Because if I sit here and fight you, I'm gonna lose. Oh, this is my rights. We don't usually come up on the good end of the stick. We challenge them, challenge their authority, and yes, we know our rights. We know this, that, and yes, we should be treated like the law says, but it's not like that. And it's just, and it has never been like that.
So what about, dash cams and why not, what's the Twitter app? Periscope. Why not Periscope the whole stop?
That's what you should do. And that's what it's leading to. But these technologies just came out. This has been going on forever. So this has just came out. So now we're seeing, like I said, we're seeing stuff on camera. And I think the cops should wear body cams. Is it going to be the solution to everything? No. But it protects them because I believe most of them are good. Protects them. I believe that. I'm going to stay positive. Most of them are good. And, and it'll keep everybody in check. So you will see the bad people. Oh, well, you did this, and that to cause blah, 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 blah. So it protects them and it protects.
I still think it comes down to them being a dick. Yeah. We understand that there's need for cops. We all want cops to be there, and we don't mind. Well, I don't mind if I get dinged for speeding every now and then. I'll pay the price. But I've also seen cops be dicks. Just they're complete ass bags. For no reason. They're having a bad day. That does not give them the excuse to be an asshole to somebody. If I'm going to have a bad day, you're going to have a bad day. Right. No. And
but if you raise in that culture of us and you, the civilian, and we're not protecting and serving, you do as I say.
But isn't that culture
It's horrible.
It's horrible, but it's continuing, if not being even growing today, because there's such a division.
Yes.
Because like the reason I'm doing this podcast is because I have a lot of stupid questions.
Okay.
That a lot of people would consider. How dare you ask that?
No, I can say no. Because you don't know.
Well, I don't. But at the same time, it's if I just throw a question out on Twitter, what's going on with black people in their hair? And just asking the question. You're instantly labeled a racist.
Right. Because it's like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Right. I'm like, well, someone said that she had to go get something for her hair because it was drying up and breaking. Hair grease. I'm like, I've never had to.
Right, because you don't know.
And I grew up in a predominantly black area.
But they didn't sit and break down their hygiene habits.
Exactly. Right. I just.
How would you know?
Well, is that there's
unless you listen to Soul Train, you'd be like, what's that Afro sheen that they keep talking about?
But even that is okay. So you want a wet looking perm? As far as I'm concerned,
right.
It takes me back to the 80s and breaking two. Jerry curls and stuff.
That's different.
Easy E.
Yeah, that's different.
I don't know these things.
Right.
I mean, you have what is it? Is it locks?
Locks.
Is that what that's called?
They're called locks.
I get a big kick out of it. I mean, because I don't know. I just get a kick. I can't do that. I'm losing my hair. It's going down my back. But it's
right. These are locks.
That's what.
Huh?
Now, do you have to sit there in a chair for hours on end do that? I mean,
well, the initial thing took 2 days.
2 days.
12-hour sessions.
F that noise.
Right.
No.
So from that point forth, you just come back and get them tightened. So as your hair grows,
okay,
they just tighten it up. But you still gotta do whatever you gotta do. You gotta wash it. You gotta condition it. You gotta do all of that other stuff to your hair. You gotta moisturize it. Hair grease.
Okay.
Right. So the locks won't just pop out.
So is it the skin or is it the hair?
I think it's a combination of both.
So Suave won't work.
Suave works. What you have to do in addition to Suave.
Okay. See,
well,
I don't know if that's because I'm white or that's because I'm a guy. Because a guy doesn't care. Guy's like, smells good, I'm good. Right. I don't care.
Right, right.
And I'm losing, so what you gotta laugh? Why you gotta laugh?
I'm just observing.
Okay, all right. So you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever shave your husband's back?
I have shaved his back.
Okay, just making sure that my wife's not.
Yeah. I have shaved his back.
So anybody who's listening who isn't married, yes, you might be asked by your significant other to shave their back.
Yes, I have shaved his back.
Okay, yeah. I had my back waxed once for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And no,
I know you'd never do
no.
Did it feel like your back was bleeding?
Every time they did it, every time they just.
You're like, I know my back.
How many layers of skin do I have?
I know.
Why would you do this?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I ask a lot of stupid questions, based on race.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's stupid.
Well, but if I ask them of people who I don't necessarily know,
right.
If I go on the street and say, hey, what kind of hair grease do you use? Is it hair grease? Hair grease, not skin grease. Mm-hmm. Hair grease. They're gonna look at me. First of all, they're gonna be looking like crazy. Second of all, I'm getting labeled instantly just for asking a question.
That's because
but that's to go back to that whole us versus them. Yeah, there's a lot more, I guess, awareness of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, at least in the media, and again, that's not a really great. Mm-hmm. But for everybody that says the media is partially causing this,
mm-hmm.
that's what they're going towards. They're like, well, I saw in the media X, Y, and Z, and
mm-hmm.
So they're blaming it, and then they're getting their information from it. So.
Right.
So
that's why they're very.
So the media is just making it worse by highlighting the differences,
right?
And giving a platform to everybody that is butthurt, mm-hmm. instead of and granted, if it's egregious, yes, it needs to be brought to light. I have no problem with that. But mm-hmm. it's these people with all they do is bitch and moan,
mm-hmm.
and they don't try to understand.
Right.
There's nothing there that's
I guess I guess everybody has their defenses up because everybody. Whatever their experiences are.
Mm-hmm.
So you approach I guess it's the way in which you approach. So if you went up to a black woman that was in the CVS and she was looking at hair grease,
damn, Beyonce, you hot.
No.
It's not gonna work.
You can say
Halle Berry. Oh my God. No.
You can say. No. You should say hi. He's like, oh, I see you looking at hair grease. I'm a white guy, as you can see. I don't understand what that's for. Can you tell me? And she would tell. It's
really?
In the pro. Yeah.
Really? Okay. So
yeah, you can't go.
You and me gonna have to hit a CVS, and you can watch from the aisle and watch me get smacked.
No.
And
it
I don't.
Depends where you can't go to the
Jersey. Okay.
Ask a professional woman,
mm-hmm.
and then you get an answer, or older woman. I should tell you.
Oh, the older women, I have no problem with.
Mm-hmm. But you can't ask Pookie in them, so they don't.
Pookie in them.
Yeah, you can't.
Pookie.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't ask them because they're gonna automatically, instead of first of all, they're young,
mm-hmm.
so automatically not thinking, and so they may become defensive instead of listening to what you're asking.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely goes to how I ask, but mm-hmm. it's. What is this Afro Sheen stuff you're using? What is that?
Yeah.
And it's not, well, I mean, because Travis said he used, because I went and asked Travis. I told you I was going to ask Travis, and he looked at and he looked at me like I was like, what kind of hair? What? And I'm like, she told me to come ask you, or she and I told her I was going to come ask you, and he just laughed and told me it was something familiar that I had seen at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And another question we brought up, I'm listening to Kanye song,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm listening to NWA,
Mm-hmm.
Eazy-E, Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she takes my money. You know,
mm-hmm.
while I'm in need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not gonna sing it. It's
Right.
really horrible.
Right.
Especially Jamie Foxx can sing.
Mm-hmm. Should you say the N?
Yeah. Should I drop the N-bomb even though I'm singing a Kanye song? Or here's another one. I have absolutely no social issues with saying Negro.
Mm-hmm. We don't either. I don't.
Oh, but if I go up to someone and say, "What is a Negro such as yourself using?"
You can't say that.
Exactly.
You can't say that.
Exactly. That's my point.
They see you as a slave master. Like, what the hell?
For the record, my family came here in the 1860s.
Mm-hmm.
I have family that fought on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's.
As soon as you say that, that's
exactly. Well, is Negro better than colored?
It's the same.
It's the same.
But
what about
if I say that all the time?
What, Negro, please?
I'm like, especially if I'm talking about my sons to my husband. Like, these Negroes is gonna make me kill them.
Oh, so
yeah.
So you call your sons Negroes?
Yeah, Negroes.
You don't use the M-bomb.
Oh no.
No, okay.
All right. I say these Negroes because it used to be Negro just means black. So
I know.
It really
it's French.
Black. It just means black. So that doesn't mean it's not the other N word where you're ignorant and it has all these other connotations to it. But Negro just means black. So, but I guess if a white person says, I don't know, I would definitely. Be across the.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly the common,
Right.
But when we first started this, you said you were a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so am I supposed to use African American or black? Because
that's all a preference thing.
Well, I asked that because personally, I chafe at anything hyphenated American.
Right.
I don't care if you're a black American.
Right.
I don't care if you're a gay American, a white American, an African American, an Italian, an Irish. Right. No, if you were an American, to me,
you should just be American.
You should just be an American.
I understand that point. However,
with
African Americans, we don't have. There's no place for us. Like if you have Italian American, you go back to Italy. Mm-hmm. You go have the British. Mm-hmm. Go back to Britain. Asian, Chinese American. You go back to China, Japan. Mm-hmm. We don't have anywhere to go back to because we were taken, and it's been over so many years, and then between slaves, and you have slave masters raping the slaves and then producing us. So we don't have anywhere to identify with. Mm-hmm. We can't go back home because we can't go back to. They don't know us, so we can't go back to them. So that
what do you mean when they don't know us? Because if I go back to Ireland or Germany, they're going to look at me like I have 3 heads. I can, and I'm just asking.
Do you have any family over there?
I do not, that I know of.
See, okay. Then
I'm sure I could. I've only traced. I say that, like I've done the work. I haven't done the work. The family has done the work. That they found the meat wagon. That they, as far back as I think like the early 1800s, when they were apple farmers in the fields of Germany. Okay. Could I go to Germany and maybe find some paperwork in the archives? Maybe, but there's no family there.
Right.
There's no history, and I understand that there's nothing. I mean, there's a history of the family, but I understand that there's nothing necessarily black folks can go back to trace back to Africa.
You can trace back what tribe you came from, but you don't have any family from there. You don't have. There's no connection. There's no, and so you bring your culture. So all the culture and everything that is created here. Mm-hmm. We don't really share their culture. Not really. Okay. Some things, but not because
for the most part. I don't share the Irish or the German culture.
So when you say African American to us, that's a way of belonging.
Well,
so instead of just saying black, because black is just a color. So African American that really identifies who we really are. So that is really what because we don't have any language.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have, everything was stripped. Everything's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So you create where you are. So that's how but we know we came from African slaves. So that's how you identify yourself. So that is the correct way. Like I said, I have no personal issues on being called black woman or whatever. I don't.
Are you an angry black woman?
Angry black, yeah.
So.
Unless I'm angry, you can call me angry. But I don't have any personal feelings toward that. But I understand.
Okay, because
we don't have anything. No, like I said, everything with us is assimilated. So we had to assimilate we had to get rid of our culture and adapt this culture. We had to get rid of our name
mm-hmm.
and take on somebody else's name. So
mm-hmm.
when you're stripped of everything,
mm-hmm.
where do you go from there? And then you have to try to build yourself back up. You gotta belong to something. So that's the way you gotta trace back and say, man, because all these negative connotations is coming out on the media and,
mm-hmm.
and just what your life experiences is this negative. What is the positive things of, okay, this is where you came from. This is, you come from a land where they did this and that and the other, so you feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, what do you have? I mean, because you don't really want to focus on, you have to focus on the past to move forward, because that's going to always dictate what you do. You cannot...
Right, but your past doesn't dictate, shouldn't. Your
but
past
it
shouldn't
makes you,
dictate. It makes you who you... Well,
it makes you who you are.
Yes, but it doesn't dictate your future. So I get if, as a woman, if you were raped,
mm-hmm.
Younger in life, yes, that's going to shape your viewpoint
exactly
on every experience, but
right.
you still have the ability to shape what that viewpoint is. Like,
to a certain extent. So what I'm saying, so long as the environment cultivates that.
okay.
So if your environment doesn't cultivate that, then where do you go from there? So I'm gonna have all the negative stuff and carry with me. I try to do things personally, in spite of being who I am. I'm gonna do this. So in spite of all the roadblocks or whatever, I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
But everybody doesn't have that mentality. Everybody doesn't have parents that's gonna tell them, you should do this and you should do that. They may have parents that's struggling themselves. So it just depends. And everybody.
Oh, let me stop you there. I didn't tell you at the beginning of the podcast. You're basically speaking for all of.
No.
For every black person.
No, I'm not speaking for. I'm only speaking from my perspective, right?
Nope.
So you have to understand the way I was raised. I was a single parent. My mother was a single parent. My parents divorced when I was 5. When I was 5, my father was still in my life. But my mother was the director of an after-school program in Newark, New Jersey, and it was called the New Ark School. And what that was it was a place after-school program, so the people in the hood, the little kids, instead of running around, they
mm-hmm.
have somewhere after school to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then there they help you with your homework, the arts and crafts, and gymnastics, karate on a daily. And then they'll take you on field trips to Canada,
okay,
horseback riding,
Canada,
skiing. Took you to DC, took you all over
Canada.
Yeah, Montreal.
Oh, Montreal. That's not Canada.
Montreal. We went to Quebec.
Hell with Montreal. I've been there one time, never again.
But from a black child's perspective,
yes.
To get out of that box,
mm-hmm.
that's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can see. But if you live in this box, you can't see anything. A lot of people don't even go outside of their own cities. So this is all they know. This is all they see. So once you take a child and expose them to different things and pump in their head, you can do anything that you want to do, mm-hmm. and be positive, that changes. So all those kids that were in that school, 99% of them went on and did very well.
Mm-hmm.
So that works, but you gotta put time into that.
Well, that's part of what I called earlier, I call it the social programming,
mm-hmm.
because I grew up, I was born in mid-70s.
Mm-hmm.
I never, in my mind, as much as I bitch about being raised how I was, and my dad being a church-going fundamentalist,
mm-hmm.
never was it ever even thought of that different people of different colors were any different or were not able to do the same things I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, growing up in a predominantly black area, it was okay. My folks told me I was going to be whatever I wanted to be, and it never passed my mind that everybody else wasn't getting that same direction.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, hey, everything's hunky dory. What do you mean you can't start a company? What do you mean you can't go to school? I don't understand. What? But is that a racial thing? Is that a parenting thing?
I think
is that a cultural thing? Because
all of the above.
Because I've talked to other black people who, and some of which we work with, who their parents told them, you need, you know, kind of like what you said, you had to deal with the cops. You know, just yes sir, no sir, always be respectful. And yes, you always need to be respectful, whether you're white or black or Puerto Rican. Even the Puerto Ricans need to be respectful. But he made it sound like his parents didn't expect him to be, capable of being the president, kind of thing.
No, my.
And it was, in meaning, you can be anything you want to be. I mean, that was the old adage: if you want to be the president, you could be the president. Nobody wants to be the frickin' president, right? Right. Nobody wants to be a puppet on a string.
Right.
The president is.
That's all they are. Right.
That's all they are. Cheney needs to go to jail. Don't get me started on politics, fuckers. Let's keep this on something nice and normal, like race issues, okay? God, something easy. But I don't, again, yes, that's how I came up. That's my worldview, that anybody can do anything. And I can't imagine someone not being told that they can't. But apparently that happened in, at the very least, some households.
Many. So
within the black community, though. I don't know.
I think
is that kind of don't get your expectations up too high.
No, because I wasn't raised in that type of household.
Okay.
My mother, I could do whatever I wanted to do. Okay. I was initially I wanted to be a doctor, so I was trying to do whatever.
What had happened?
What had happened was I seen a car accident and said, I don't want to do that. so.
All right. So the listeners know I've been trying to get her into EMS, and she's, with my stories, she's like, oh, I want to do EMS. And then I made the mistake of giving her a story that was actually printed out of a relatively benign car accident. And she lost her little mind, and from that point on, she wouldn't even consider getting into an ambulance.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
It was just a spleen. Wasn't it a spleen? Is that what it was? Spleen popped out?
I mean, I could take the spleen out of a perfectly normal body and deal with it.
It was perfectly normal. She was just in a car.
It's stuck on stuff and stuff is everywhere.
But the guy lived.
Don't matter.
I mean,
it's disgusting. It's nasty.
But yet you have no problem with blood and tubes and testing.
Nope. Microbes, whatever. Nope. I don't have any problem with that.
No. So
that's my passion.
Working with infectious diseases and stuff, you're fine with.
I'm fine with
okay.
That. Ebola. All of the look under the electron microscope.
So squished heads, you're
oh no, I can't.
You don't want to deal with, but
I can deal with your head as long as it's not squished. Like if I got to go in there and do something to it, I can deal with that. But if you come in jacked up, I can't.
Jacked up, okay.
I can't do that.
Okay, well, definitely gonna try and get you. I'm still trying to get you get your husband in. See, he could probably handle it. Now, are you bringing your husband in? Not really. Are you where you live at now? I know you live in the sticks, but you live. Well, I don't know if you live further from where we work. You live further out.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you're on. You say you live in the sticks, but you're on municipal water and sewer. Right. Where I'm on well and septic.
Right.
Past my house to get to your house.
Right.
Are you still the minority in your neighborhood? I mean, are you the one one grain of pepper in the sea of salt?
No, there's a little couple peppers in there.
Okay.
But not
because once there's one, and they're gonna take over.
No, yeah, right.
Come on.
But there's Asian people in our an Asian couple.
Okay.
A couple of Asian families, I think, are in our neighborhood. Black, let me see, couple. I mean, not many, but I'll say 20% maybe.
Okay.
my son, he was raised in that community. So, I mean, he has white friends, black friends. Mm-hmm. They all come to my house.
Okay.
And hang out.
All right.
Hang out, play video games and basketball.
So your parents and my parents, they grew up in a completely different time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put you and me in the same generation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
But does it seem, I mean, obviously it's a lot different, but does it seem like things are getting better or worse? Or does it have to get worse before it can get better?
Some things seem better.
Because
some things seem worse. So
again, I'm looking at things through the way I was raised and through the people I hang out with in my circle of friends, and all of us in the same generation, we grew up with, why would anybody deny you a job because you're black? I mean, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's always been illegal. That,
right.
There's nepotism and there's, I can find a million different ways not to hire somebody.
But you know what? Usually people hire people that they are comfortable.
Yes.
So if you're not comfortable, if you have not been around black people
mm-hmm.
and you're believing all the little stereotypes or whatever, you're going to feel comfortable.
All right.
If Raheem puts in the application and John puts in the application, then you're going to be like, I don't know Raheem. So I'm going to be more apt to go with who I'm comfortable with. I don't know if that's...
So you don't think stereotypes are true?
Some of them, I mean, but they're true for all.
Did you hear that, everybody? Black guys don't have big dicks. Just saying.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is true. I'm sure there's
huh? What?
I'm sure.
What's true? Black guys don't have...
I don't know. I haven't seen everyone. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Okay.
But I'm sure that there's they've spoken. I've heard comedians speak on a little angry man that is not that well endowed. So that's why you have anger issues.
Okay. All right. Well,
they said they're talking about themselves.
Yeah. Well,
amongst men, black men, they're talking about themselves.
I'm Irish, so I got the curse. So it's.
So yeah, some stereotypes, but that's for everybody.
Yeah,
you can find late white people, you can find late Asian people. All black people are not late. And matter of fact, because of that stereotype, a lot of them try to not be like that. Don't try to fit into that stereotype.
So then why don't the Asian people try to drive better?
I'm not going to say they drive. I don't know. I'm not going to say they all drive messed up. Matter of fact, my stepmom is Asian. She doesn't drive. So
see, in here in Northern Virginia, I don't know if it's because there's a much larger concentration of Asians here. So I don't know if it's just that because the numbers there's more.
Right.
Because based on number, because every restaurant in China is a Chinese restaurant, even if it's McDonald's, right? But as far as stereotypes go, I usually take it as whimsical almost. Like, okay, fine. Now, okay, here's one. See, I said CP time because that's what a black friend of mine told me it was years ago.
Right.
But then Rasan told me it was BP time. So,
black people time.
Yeah, black people time versus color people time. So I was like, okay. You never heard that one? Oh, see? I do know something. No, but it's not something I base a personality on necessarily. I mean,
if you're late.
Well, my wife is late all the time. Right. My wife is, if we have to be someplace at 7:00, she's putting her clothes on at 7:45 and leaves at 7:00.
Right.
So, I mean, I've had to leave her at home to get to appointments on time.
Yeah, my husband fits that bill as well.
So, and okay, so all right, where were we? All right, you live out in the sticks, and you don't like it, do you?
No.
Why not?
Because it's not the city.
It's not.
That's why.
Okay.
Because it's not where I want to be. Is New York City in a high-rise apartment. That's what I want to be. Concrete jungle. I don't want to see the trees. I don't want to see none of the little animals running around unless I go to the zoo. I don't want to see that.
Why? I mean,
because I'm just not, because it reminds me of where I am right now. So it reminds me of the sticks, and I'm like, ugh.
Okay. So, well, how long have you lived there?
Too long, since 2006.
Oh, okay. It's not even 10 years. Almost.
But I came from...
It's already been 10 years.
I came from Oxon Hill area, which was...
Okay.
So, PG County
What do you guys say about PG County? What do you guys say?
Southern, slow.
Oxon Hill? Really?
Slow. Just
what?
The mentality is slow. All of these people are people, at least that I've dealt with. They're government people. They're have this air about them. They're not as friendly. I think people in New Jersey and I think people in New York are much friendlier than people here. They have things now to do, but it's not like, I mean, although I'm too old to be doing this now, but I could go to a nightclub in New York and be there all night till the daytime, till that close in the morning. Mm-hmm. I could order food anytime I want, in the middle of the night, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Any type of food I want. It's just, I could have a service.
So it's about convenience.
Convenience, everything right there, a bunch of people, the grind of it, mm-hmm. The smells, I just love it. Mm-hmm. Here, I don't smell no pollen and trees and flowers. I don't want that. Give me flowers on Valentine's Day. I smell them then. Other than that, I even put them on my little dining room table, some fresh flowers. But other than that, no, I don't want any parts of that. I want to travel I want one car. I want it to be locked up in my high-rise apartment somewhere in the parking garage. Mm-hmm. And I want to take the subway to work every day.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. Stop by the botulism food stand and get me a hot dog.
Them cash only joints are the best joints, I tell you. It might not be there next week, but they're the best.
That's right.
They're the best ones.
So that's what I want. You know, I get on my husband every now and then. I get in my moods and blame him for dragging me all the way out here. He was the reason why we didn't go back, because he didn't want to go back and live in New Jersey, too close to his parents. Mm-hmm. Now he regrets it.
So is dealing with the police better in the sticks? Because I've found I've been in EMS in 3 states, all on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. But I found the smaller the department,
more aggressive.
The more, if that's the word you want to call them, bigger the assholes.
I haven't had any issues with anybody down here. One time
aside from your son being followed?
Aside from no, that was in Oxon Hill.
That was in Oxon Hill?
Yeah, that was in Oxon Hill. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Here, they always get stopped and searched. You know, in the sticks, they get stopped and searched all the time. So
where they're at now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In school? Or where they live?
Where they live.
Really? Yeah. By the city police or county or state?
All of them.
Okay.
That's a normal. They already know the routine. So.
Well, I know some of the officers up in the state police officers up in the barracks up there, and there's quite a few black officers.
Mm-hmm. They haven't run across them.
Really?
Mm-mm. So that is their experience. My experience. I only had one experience when I first moved there. I was getting off the.
Beating the crap out of your husband, and somebody called the cops.
No. I was getting off the highway, made a right off the highway, made a right turn.
Jumped to light speed.
The cops seen me, and I don't know, maybe I was going too fast.
Maybe.
Well, if I was, then he should have pulled me over.
Maybe.
He followed me all the way to my house.
That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
Thank you. That is. I said, see, here we go with this bullshit. Here we go. Yes.
That's why you drive past your house to your neighbor's house.
Well, he didn't, it wasn't exact, so it was the back of my house, and he didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So we go driving down, and when I made that turn, and I had to go around the corner to get to my house, he kept going. But he traveled all the way down the road.
Well, okay.
When I say all the way down the road,
So with that experience, when I used to go visit family in southern West Virginia, a half hour, 40 minutes outside of Huntington. Mm-hmm. Me and my dad, and again, I'm 8, 10, 12 years old. We're going down once a month, and he had this old nasty van that my dad's the kind of guy, he doesn't buy anything new. Everything's used. Right. So this is van, and we would, it was at the time, it was before 64 was put in, so it was an 8-hour trip. Mm-hmm. So we would leave the house in PG County, we'd leave it, 8, 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And, maybe 8 o'clock. Because we'd get into my grandmother's house at 2.
In the morning?
In the morning. Mm-hmm. Maybe 3. But, there was no traffic, so that's why he went. But every time, I remember this, every single time we came in, my dad even knew where the cop sat. The cop would come out and follow us until we got to my grandmother's house. We're out of state. I don't know if he knew we were white or not. I don't think that was an issue. But again, that's my mentality.
Right.
But we're out of state. It's 2 or 3 in the morning. Why is this van here? You know, that was mine. You know, I didn't think anything bad of it. It was just, you know, okay, you're a stranger here. What are you doing? You know, what are you doing here? And is that good or bad? You know, if
it makes you feel very uncomfortable. It makes the whole situation uncomfortable.
Well,
now you gotta watch your speed, watch this, watch that. At any moment, and what I really want to do is pull over to the side and say,
brake check.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Why are you following me? Oh, because you did this and that. Okay, well then give me a ticket for that. But you don't have to follow me. You know, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I swear, I was too. Something just kept, just don't be, because I am confrontational. Mm-hmm. No, just keep going.
Yeah, I don't have a problem being confrontational. Because again, like I said, I record everything. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if someone's being a dick, I'm gonna ask them why they're being a dick.
Right.
You know, you pull me over. I don't have a problem you pulling me over. I don't have a problem.
Give me a ticket.
I don't have a problem you not giving me a ticket.
Right.
Just like the cop.
Do something.
Well, the one time I got pulled out of my car, going back to that, he pulled me out of my car, and as I stood up, I had the detachable faceplate on my stereo. Well, I had the cover on between my door and the seat, and it had, the cover said Sony on it. He pulled me out further away. He said, "Oh, we got to make sure you don't have a weapon in here," because he thought he was being a dick. Yes, he was being a dick. He was not trying to be a racist dick. He was just being a cop, right? And just trying to bust my chops. And all he got out of it was the fact that I, respect cops a little less each time that happens. And that's pretty much, why we have where we're at today. But yeah, I mean, I'll be flying up. I tell you that time there was going up the toll road, and this SUV comes flying up behind me. And I get over. He flies past me. I look over. It's a Montgomery County, Maryland cop. Mother. Did I tell you about the story? So I get behind him, and he's doing 80 plus. I mean, up the toll road. I'm to the point where I'm like, all right, I'll clean you up later, buddy. Because in Virginia, anything over 80 is reckless.
Right.
So I wasn't trying to catch a reckless. And so we get there, get on the Greenway, and he just takes off again. And I'm all right. I'll stay with you as long as I can. And he had to be doing at some point 90 because he's way up there. I mean, it was a giant ass SUV. I don't care who you're there for to pick up, whatever. But he pulled off onto an exit, and so I slowed back down to my standard 8-9 over the speed limit, right? So doing 73, 74. And I didn't notice where he was. I don't know when he came on the road, but there was a state trooper flew up right behind me. I'm like, mother, because I was following that SUV. I was like, God, son of a frickin'. And there was a car beside me, so I couldn't exactly get over.
Right.
Like, oh, he obviously, I'm blocking his way. I need to move over as soon as possible. No. I knew he was coming after me for something, but he pulls up right, I speed up. Took a chance. I sped up and got over in front of the car that was next to me. And so he pulls up right next to me. So he's in the far left lane. I'm in the middle lane. And we're both doing 73 miles an hour. And he just doesn't move. And I'm trying not to look over. I'm like, gosh, all right, fine, I'll blink. I'll have to look over. And I look over and he doesn't care. He's not looking at me. I don't know if he doesn't care. Well, he pulled up a little bit, hit his lights. And when I hit the brakes because he hit his lights, he pulled the car in front of me over. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't. I guess he was just running the plates, or even make sure that I was doing the speed. I don't know, but I dodged a bullet on that one. So.
Yeah, you did.
But other cops, my favorite coming to work is I'll see, every now and then I'll see out of county, out of jurisdiction. Fuck them.
Right.
I mean, can they pull me over? Maybe legally, but they can't give me a ticket.
Right.
I mean, that's okay, fine. If I stop, because I'm not, I keep telling myself I wouldn't stop. I just call 911 and tell them there's someone impersonating a cop. You got a Maryland cop impersonating a Virginia cop.
Right.
But there's so many weird agencies around here. You don't know who, and they all have weird jurisdictions. Metro Police. hell, Park Police and Secret Service, and U.S. Park Police, and then there's all the other ones. So I keep telling myself that, I want to be the one that jumps on the grenade. I just don't know if I'm going to jump on the grenade. So the city is worse for cops or better?
Same.
The same mentality?
Same mentality, same culture, same system.
Okay.
So.
All right. Let's see. Confederate flag.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, I honestly, I couldn't give two spits one way or the other. I figure that's up to them.
Okay.
But, does it specifically mean hatred to you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Every time I see it, I try not to react.
Really?
I really try not to react. I seen, matter of fact, was it last week, big pickup truck, he had two giant Confederate flags on his truck coming around a corner. We locked eyes. I'm this way. I was by the Best Buy. He's coming off the highway. And, we locked eyes. There's other cars. I followed him. He followed me.
Really?
Yeah, I was like.
And you don't carry? Huh? And you don't carry? Something like that? Or is that why you don't carry?
I don't need to carry. But I'm not going to shoot him because that's.
No, but if you got some whack job coming at you,
He's not actually coming at me. He's just turning the corner to go, because he had the light. So he's turning the corner. But he locks eyes. We lock eyes. And as he's turning the corner, we're both like this. We don't, And I said, I should have just ignored him. I said, because what he wants is attention. I should have just ignored him. But yes, I think I do feel whoever has that flag does not like black people, does not want me around them. And that's how I feel about that. That flag.
Let's see, to me,
now the flag that they hijacked was the KKK. So the KKK hijacked that flag during the Civil Rights Movement, the battle flag, not the General Lee flag. General Lee, when he lost, he said, put your flags up. He don't want nothing to do with it. He don't even bury me with that. Okay, if he said that, why you still? And then KKK brings it back out. It was in the 50s or the 60s. And what did they do? They lynched us. They did this. They did that. So when you see all of that all the time, you see what happened in the past. And then you see people, what can it possibly? There's nobody that with smiley faces ever came to you and say, hey, would you like an ice cream, little black girl? Nobody with a Confederate flag ever did anything like that.
I'm sorry. Did you just try to imitate a white person?
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
So you're saying that it
never meant anything good for any black person. Tell me somebody that's flying that flag and has had a good experience. Oh, they had their flag up, came up, and they would help me get to where I needed to go. They stopped on, oh, Mr. Black man or woman, are you lost? Let me show you how to, let me call Bob and, Bob, on the walkie-talkie or whatever they got, right?
You're such a potty mouth. You almost dropped it.
Yeah, I almost dropped it. She said, let's show them the way home. No, they're going to show you to the woods so they can lynch your behind. So that's there's no smiley faces for black people. So you can't say, just like when you see it's the same exact principle as a swastika. That doesn't make Jewish people feel all warm and cuddly inside. It doesn't. Yeah. So you can't. So those symbols represent something bad. So you can't, and the people that don't, and the black, and you can always find black people that's going to say, oh, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't make me feel. That's because you don't know your history. That's because you don't know your history. Or you're trying to be delusional to what it is. But there is that flag, just like the cross. The Klan, they throw the cross up, fire. That doesn't mean welcome to the neighborhood. You understand? That's not happy.
It's a housewarming gift.
Yeah, literally. So, those things just have not happened to me or anybody that I've known. Most people even my son, and I don't know how he knows. It's nothing that I've taught him but my younger son, he was like, oh no. He said, something's wrong. I guess when I warned him about going different places. Oh, my friend wants me to pick him up from here and there. They live in, what's that?
That bad place?
Yeah. Where you gotta go straight up that hill. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, do they live there? Well, you need to be careful because I don't think it's a whole bunch of people that look like you are there. So you need to be very careful. So I have to say these things. So, and those flags are fine. right outside their house, or house or mobile homes or whatever they got, right? They're gritting on you. So what am I supposed to say? They want you to feel that. So you can say, oh, it's about my heritage, okay? But then you lose that war. Why are you still flying the flag? When have somebody that lost a war, the people that lost get to fly the flag? No, it don't work like that. You a conqueror. You must assimilate.
Well,
so that is the way it goes when people are taking over. They don't just let you fly your flag. It's not going to work like that. You need to be flying our flag. This is our stuff now. So that's just the way it is.
Okay, well, the same. I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
All right. Everybody says Civil War. Going back to Civil War, I know you said it had more to do with the things that happened after the Civil War. Klan and all that stuff.
Well, that too, though. I mean, because Civil War is based on slavery, right? I mean, that was really big. We want to keep slaves. We don't want you to. Well, basically, that was it.
Yes and no, because
it's all about economics.
Yes, definitely.
But if you have free labor,
absolutely,
there you go.
And that it comes down to slaves and I guess by extension blacks were commodities back then.
Yep.
And so it was more, to me, from my understanding, it really was more about economics. I got you. You say, okay, you lost the war. Well, you have to assimilate. Mm-hmm. So what is to stop? Again, devil's advocate here. So please don't kill me. What is to stop a white person from saying to a black person, "You've been conquered. You have to assimilate"?
We wasn't conquered. We were taken. You didn't come to Africa and conquer Africa. We were taken away from a land, so we weren't conquered. And then taken to somewhere. If I'm fighting, fighting. And I got people fighting. We're fighting a war. There was no fight. There was no fight. Mm-hmm. You came and trapped and took us somewhere we don't know. We don't know where this is. Where is that? And we're going across all these borders and blah 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 blah. End up at this place. Mm-hmm. And then, but you call yourself a Christian society, and then you're gonna keep, keep slaves, and then you're gonna take their names from them. No, your name is not this, and that name is prideful or whatever with the family connect. Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm gonna strip you everything you know. There was no war. Mm-hmm. Nobody was at. You didn't know anybody was at war with us. So that's the difference. Mm-hmm. You didn't come and conquer. You just. You just took something somebody didn't know they was even what time it was. Okay, it just was like, oh.
Well, see, that goes back to again my understanding is because again, not a historian, especially not on Black history and African history, but the little bit I do, or a little bit I've heard, I should say, I can't say I know it because again, it was that yes, the Dutch or the Europeans,
Dutch and the Portuguese,
okay, would buy or take slaves from slave catchers who were black in Africa.
Yep, okay? That's true.
So the question there is, okay, and generally I'm guessing this, the slave catcher, I don't know what they're called, slave catchers. Was there a market there, or was that because of war and they were selling off or giving their enemies to the Portuguese? No, I don't think it's
because of war. I think it was because of, I have a family here and I have a family here. This family don't like that family. And if I could get rid of this family, then I could have all of the crops or whatever.
Oh,
I think it's more of like that. It wasn't they were at war with each other.
So it was more of a clan fighting or
clans and
clans. Clans. See, black people are in clans too.
Yeah, they ain't the Ku Klux though.
All right.
So that is more so what it was in terms. They weren't at war. It was just people, just like they could be just like in where was that? Rwanda. It was a
genocide.
Yes, but it was the Tutsis and the Hutus, right? Hutus like, what's up? Or whatever the losing one was. They didn't know. Why are you killing? We brothers and sisters. How are you gonna? And see, by the time you try to wrap your head around that, people done got slaughtered. And I guess at that point, they were paying you. So you don't even, so somebody's gonna say, look, you know what you're doing? I'll give you this. I can give you all of these resources. Go over there and catch them around. I need 10 jokers that look just like you. Bring them back here. No, I ain't gonna do that. Okay, I'll throw this in.
So it wasn't necessarily a warfare, but it was
economics.
Economics and more enemies.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't at war. Those aren't.
See that's
so we can't say conquered. You can say trick. Or I don't know how they lured them or captured them. But
this might be me being
and at this point now, I've talked to Africa. We've traced my mother. She's a very Afrocentric.
Okay.
Traced our roots back to Cameroon.
Okay.
And when you talk to people back there, the immediate thing is, man, we apologize. Do you hate us? We apologize for what we did to you and blah, 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 blah. We know that was horrible. Blah. They are so apologetic.
In Cameroon or
in
here?
Africa.
Okay.
Africa. The people that sold you off because they still over there and you're not, they're very apologetic. So
okay.
They was like, that was wrong, blah, blah, blah. My mother has land in Cameroon. They just gave it to her.
Oh, wow.
Here, you can have this. You come back and, you always, never, nothing like that will ever happen again, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they want you to come back. And,
wow.
Yeah, so they are very apologetic. So that's a difference. So, no, we weren't conquered. It was just economics. And it was just, you give me enough sheep or whatever the hell I'm growing or farming or doing whatever, resources, and I'm like, we can eat for around 10 years. So the Smiths, they gotta go. You gotta round them up, ship them out.
Okay.
So that's what it was more like than just being conquered. But yeah, when you take somebody from somewhere, that's just like if somebody picked you up and took you somewhere, changed your name, whipped it into you, they're gonna eventually you're gonna break. Somebody gonna break. You think somebody this cannot be happening. Somebody's gonna come get me.
Right. But how does that translate into who you are today? Because
it's a society.
How?
Because you still have those constructs in place. So you gotta think about it. 400 years, you slave for a long, long, long time. And so that atrocity happened for a long. I mean, I don't want to say our atrocity was better than your, or more devastating than somebody else's, but it happened for a longer period of time.
I think the Jews have you beat.
What, the German thing?
No. Like the biblical thing.
Okay, with the biblical thing, you gotta go, they no longer are in, right now, they're straight though, right? They got Israel and everything. But you got Britain and U.S. came and rectified this situation. Ain't nobody came and rectified our situation.
But
nobody rectified the situation.
Define rectify. The situation was rectified by the Civil War, right?
No.
Because, okay, if you're going to go back, there's still people that don't like Jewish people.
Oh, no. But Jewish people have a place.
Okay, well.
Called Palestine.
Okay.
They have a place. They say,
By Israel, you mean?
Yeah, Israel.
Palestine.
I mean, no.
Palestine is not Israel.
No. Who fights? Palestinians and Israel. Right.
Israelis.
First of all, that was Palestine.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
And then the UN came in and said.
The British and the U.S. said, hey, all this land you got? Guess what? Half goes to them or whatever. Whatever they draw a line. But the Jewish people did not conquer that land.
Right.
So it was given to them. That's different. So what I'm saying is they have a place.
Okay.
We don't have a place. You understand what I'm saying?
No, because you just said your mother was given land in Cameroon.
Yeah, but we don't. That's not. Man, please.
I'm trying to understand. What do you mean when you don't have a place? So do you want the UN to give?
No. I don't want.
Because if I say it, it's going to sound racist.
No. I don't want. What I'm saying. Oh, to make it right. This is what I'm saying. To make it right.
And to make it right, it would take from people that had nothing to do with it necessarily.
No, but you profit from it.
How do I profit from it?
You profit from it every day. Just the things that you don't have to worry about that black people do. So the system is made for you. It's not made for us. We weren't even in the Constitution or whatever. We're 3/4 and blah, 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 blah. We weren't even thought about. We were property. Okay. So all of this was for you. It wasn't for us. So you profited from the backs of slaves. You got school systems like Yale and Harvard and Dartmouth. They all had, those are all slaves. They all own slaves. So this country was built on the back of that. So that's why it's so far ahead than everybody else. Because we have a bunch of free labor. Guess what? You'll be able to do a whole rack of stuff that you can't do if you got to pay somebody. You won't be as profitable. So the U.S. is built on that. So yes, but all the people that's a part of that profit from that. But at the same time, we go back to slavery. Everybody said, well, slavery is so long ago. Yeah, but the civil rights, this is 1960. Mm-hmm. And then in 2015, we just taken down a flag. Mm-hmm. So really? So how far have we really come? Because we got a black president? Please. So
why does he gotta be black? He's half white.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Why does he gotta be black? Because he's half white.
You know why he has to be black? Because if he gets stopped by a cop
the Secret Service will shoot the cop.
Ask the Klan what he is. There you go. Is he black or is he white? He one of us. He one of you. He looks like one of you. Because all of us have white in us because of the slave master. So all of us have white. What does that mean? He just has more than we do. Okay, so what? It's what you look like. That's okay. So because of this system, we all profit from that slavery thing. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not that far away. We just had Jim Crow. That's in the 50s. Mm-hmm. You can't drink out of the same fountain. Can't go in the swimming pool. Some neighborhoods now that you still can't live in, they still have sundown towns. Whereas when the sundown when the sun comes down, black people cannot be seen in the town. Still exists today. Okay. So we've come is better than it used to be, but we still got further to go.
But that could be said for a lot of different cultures.
Ooh, is there sundown towns for Asians? Nah.
Oh well, no. I mean, like,
how about you?
Like you go to Europe. I don't know if you were stationed over in Europe.
No.
In Europe, there are in generally, I guess it'd be the Eastern Russian, Slovak states where they have ongoing feuds that are hundreds of years old. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of years old. Mm-hmm. And these people are still pissed off about something that happened 400 years ago, and they're not working together.
But is there a system that one
that's what I don't understand.
Oppresses the other?
How am I responsible?
Because you profit.
How do I profit? Tell me.
Just by the way you look.
I mean, no. I mean, I want to know what profit I get. That's
because not being harassed.
But is
the assumption that we're gonna automatically you get better loans? You don't have all of these discriminatory practices. They don't happen like that. You could go to Wells Fargo. You could go to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo was dinged for this. This was just recently. Discriminatory practices, whereas you would all of the black people, you would give them horrible loans and those predatory loans, and where all of this crap happens and you end up losing this or whatever. But you talked them into that bullshit. So.
But there wasn't just blacks they talked into.
No, but it was a lot of them where your wealth comes from other things. A lot of black people wealth comes from their home, especially older black people. Is everything in their home. So all of that was just destroyed. So it's just, this is for you. You have the privilege of being who you are. And the benefit, you get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get the benefit. Your neighborhoods aren't over policed. They're not, whereas you say, you can have a chance you can do stupid stuff and not pay, not have it ruin your life. Stupid stuff, you can go out here and drive 90 miles and had a drink or whatever. You may get off with a slap on the wrist. You ain't gonna get off with no slap on the wrist. Your ass going to jail. So it's a difference when you over police a certain sector of your population. Guess who's going to be mostly in jail? Mm-hmm. But then the other people are still doing the same things you're doing or less. There's nobody going over there checking them out. Those are the type of things. So then if I have those type of things on my record, how can I get a job? How can I get ahead? If somebody is always over,
but a lot of that goes back to like the drug war, which is to me is a joke. And
then how many people in your community was tested with syphilis?
Yeah.
You see how many people in your community recently, 2015, was tested with, let's do an experiment with lead poisoning.
Oh, Johns Hopkins?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 2015. What segment of the population are they targeting? So you just have to look at all of those things and say, something going on.
Now,
so you just have it
could also be said that they're, again, this is devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily targeting blacks, they're targeting poor people.
Okay, but
because
white people don't live in them neighborhoods. Baltimore, down there in Baltimore, what, 2 out of 200? I mean, okay, that don't count. You just, man, I'm sorry, you just got mixed up with us.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly. They not over there, and we could say economics. They not over there doing stuff for people in the trailer park.
That's because the trailer park issue will fix itself. You get enough meth to enough rednecks.
But they're not over policing that area. They're not over policing that.
Well, no.
They're not running up in there.
Define over policing, because I know of some rough areas.
I said rough. I said over policing.
I know of some rough areas that the cops, they don't go into unless there's 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
And there's nothing but drunk, coked out rednecks up there.
Okay, but they go in though. You know
yeah, they wait for backup and they go in.
Okay, but they go in. So
you're
in
saying
those neighborhoods,
you just said it was over policed. Now you're saying that they don't go
No. Well, but you said 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But they go in though.
Yeah.
They ain't going in when they come in to take care of business. They coming in to take care of business. I mean, they go, hey, this, that, and the other. They concentrate on this community, whereas they may not concentrate on. And if they do, you could point out certain situations where, okay, this is extremely bad. We're gonna go in there and do something about it, or I'll go over here and mess with so and so walking home from so and so just because I can.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it? Stop and frisk.
Right. Yeah. Oh, in New York City.
Yeah. So I mean.
Okay. So the question there is, yes, cops are dicks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. White cops are dicks. Black cops are dicks.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make
you?
No. I can see that. But how does that make it the average white person? How does that make it my fault?
It's because you stand by and not do anything.
But,
silence makes you complicit.
But you said you would just let them search your car with no issue. Whereas I said at the beginning that you have to know your rights. You have to push back. But so if I'm pushing back against cops now,
right.
So if I'm pushing back, or at least aware of my rights, and you just want it to be done and over with,
right? But you got to say something when you see somebody an injustice.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you don't say anything, when you see an injustice, if you see something like that happen to me, to me, I'm talking like this, blah 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 blah. To you, you're gonna hear, hey, why are you harassing that? Blah, 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 blah. They're gonna hear you. They're not gonna hear me. You're like, what? And then I'm like, okay.
Hey, is that a Glock 19?
Right.
Oh, it's a Glock 17. Oh, I don't like Glocks.
So that's the difference. They'll hear you. They're not gonna hear me. They're not gonna hear the black person complaining about what you're gonna do what they want you to do. Yeah, I don't care about your rights. I'm getting ready. Your rights gonna really be violated in a minute. So that's because it goes in the wrong direction.
So how do you fix that?
By just when you see stuff that's an injustice, say something. That's all you gotta do. Speak up. Say that's not right. You can't do that. That's it. And if enough people that look like you say that, then all of this stuff will stop. You got the pipeline with the prison pipeline where they got
school to prison
pipeline where they locking little kids up. They ain't doing that to a whole bunch. I get the a couple little white kids where they touch somebody's booty or something. And that's not right.
They're sex offenders.
That's right. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
But they locking the little young black boys and girls up for having a tantrum.
So
really in kindergarten.
So
trying to get them used to it.
Do you think it's the mindset that they've stopped saying anything just because no one's listening? Because it's not. If I see an injustice, I can't be the only one that has to say something. Right?
No. We say something all the time, but we're null and void. Nobody can hear us talking. We're complainers. You're just divisive. So we could say stuff has been going on, and people discount that. That's not true because Fox News said da 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 da, and you are da 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 da. So you can say all you want to say, but nobody can hear you. If you say something, that's different. They hear you. And we talk. This is a program on XM. It's called the channel is the Urban View, but a lady named Karen somebody. She just I'll get a
Karen somebody on XM. Okay.
It's on 126.
Okay.
Called the Urban View. Karen Hunter. She just did a thing on what it is to be white in America. It just aired like Tuesday, and she had a panel, with a bunch of white folks on it, and then you can hear the issues.
Well, somebody sent me something, and it had a list of 50 things, and I don't have it. I have a copy of it inside, and I looked at it with Rasan. He said, yeah, he looked at it, glanced back, and handed it right back to me. Some of it was stuff like, I get to go home and turn on the news and see people of my race. That kind of thing. And so I'm thinking, okay, so if you take me and drop me off in the middle of China, I'm the one guy out of a billion China. Can I say Chinaman? I'm a racist. So I'm the one white guy out of a billion Chinamen. Does that give me the right to say I can't turn on the news and see white people?
No.
So
once
then,
you become a part of that community, in terms of this, becomes more of you.
Right.
Yes. But you can see you you can see yourself in whiteface and then making fun of you. You can see that on TV. Yeah, but you can't see you being in a positive. You only can see you in the negative. Like every time they show the white guy with the red hair, he's always getting locked up. Stop. Oh yeah. Yeah, you know that's how he is. So that's the connotation that's being put out there. Always negative, negative, negative. We didn't get positive till the Cosby Show. And that joker's a pedophile. He's a rapist.
He rapist?
Straight. So.
Well, no, because you also had, you had the shows that I grew up on, the Good Times, Jefferson's with the zebra and Wilson's.
That's not good.
And,
I mean,
what's happening?
That's not showing black people that has upward, besides the Jefferson, upward mobility. That showed people in the place that they were poor. It was just trying to get by, in the trials and tribulations. But that didn't show, besides the Jeffersons, of success and what that looked like. And yes, you can go to college. A lot of black kids didn't want to go to college till they seen the spinoff of the Cosby Show, which was about the black college students, and they never. That
one didn't take off.
It was a new world, a new something. It took off. A lot of people came from out of that. So it was a couple years.
3 or 4 seasons. Yeah. It wasn't as big as.
No, it
wasn't as big compared to Cosby Show.
No, it wasn't as big as that. But, a lot of black kids seen that and said, man, I could do that too. But if you don't see anything and everything's always negative, you either a slave, you locked up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you're like, damn, I'm going to be a slave or locked up. That's it. That's all I'm going to be. And you don't have anything positive telling you that you can do whatever it is you need to do. Yeah. It is the way it is.
Well, it only is the way it is because nobody's trying to change it.
Enough people that look like you have to change it.
It's all on me now. Is that what
because it's not. We can't change how other people view you in terms of if somebody comes up to me or looks at me across the street. A group of white people look at me across the street. I can't control how you think.
Right.
You understand? But I only could control me.
Right. But you're also making assumptions, and this goes back to what I said about social action. Well, social programming is white people are yeah, everything's fine, nothing, no need to worry about anything. And
right.
Whereas I honestly do think black people are socially programmed to assume the worst of everybody. Why is he looking at me? Why is that cop looking at me? And again, I don't have the experience,
right? Exactly.
So I can only go with my experience.
Right. So imagine that. Imagine things that's happened to you. You don't have to be spanked. If you spank 10 times, when somebody look like the people that spank you is coming toward you, and they don't have a little expression, they ain't smiling. Oh shit! I think I'm giving you a spank. That's what you think. So if you get programmed to what you know, don't make an assumption that I'm gonna the stereotype for black women. Don't make that assumption.
That you're angry.
Yeah. Don't make that assumption that I'm angry. Don't make that assumption that I'm doing this or whatever. Don't make the assumption of the black man that he's dangerous and he's this and he's that. Don't do that. Just give people a chance to be people just like you're a person. They have feelings and everything just like you.
Right.
So if people treated people like humans, then we wouldn't have an issue.
Okay.
But that ain't gonna happen.
Just don't assume that all white people are racist.
Oh, no. I don't assume all white people are racist. But
because going by the media.
No, I don't assume. You gotta listen to the Karen Hunter thing. There's a bunch of white people that get it and see, especially if you're married to somebody that's outside of your race, especially a white man married to a black woman. He sees it because he gets it. It's in his face. Like, damn, why they treat you? He could go in and do something, and you go in and somebody follow you around the store.
Well, see, stuff like that though. I've been followed around a store. I had a best man at my wedding is a black man married to a white woman. Mm-hmm. And we went out to dinner with me and my wife, so there's 4 of us, had crappy service. Mm-hmm. And the 3 of us, that was just crappy service.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he thought it was because he was black. It's the same experience seen through different viewpoints. How do you reconcile that? Because maybe his experience previously shaped his viewpoint on this, whereas us, you're going to get crappy service from time to time in a restaurant.
Maybe he got more than he shared.
Maybe, but nothing that we noticed is out of the ordinary for the rest of us.
Okay.
I mean, it's just okay.
I mean, I ignore a lot of stuff. So my husband is he sees everything.
Mm-hmm.
I try to ignore it because
does he assume that if
yes.
So he makes assumptions.
Yeah, he assumes that it's bad.
So if I forget to fill your water, it's because you're black.
Right.
Or because he's black.
Right. So I have to constantly tell him, hey, why can't he just forget to fill your water? Why does everything? Unless he comes out, let's do this. Mm-hmm. Let's assume that everybody's straight and okay. And unless they come out and
no gays. Okay.
I shouldn't say straight. Everybody is kind.
Okay.
And until they have an issue with you or say something that's derogatory, let's assume the best. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that? I said, because then you don't have to worry. Then you won't have to be angry.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, you're right, babe. You're right. But I said, I know. Just do that. Mm-hmm. So, but it's hard. I mean, you get that all the time. So, I mean.
Well, is it hard because you get it all the time or is it hard because you think you get it all the time?
No, you get it. You see, think people
clutching their
purses.
Do you remember Monica? She was the black lesbian who used to work with in systems. Real petite girl.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that little. Yeah.
She and I were walking down to get juice for lunch one day, and we passed my car. I just clicked the locks, and she looked at the car. I leaned over. I said, and she didn't like that at all. Man. I was like, what a joke! Jesus Christ. So there is.
But my husband doesn't see. He retaliates because of that.
Well, if it's done,
when the white people walking they get close to his car, he sets the alarm off. He could be back there. He said, "What?" He wait for him to get up on the car. And as they pass, he say, "Did the car stop?" I said, "Why would you do that?" I'm just getting them back. I said, "But they may not be like that. Don't matter."
Well, do they know the car's owned by a black guy?
No.
Well, then it doesn't really do anything.
No, but it does something for him.
Okay.
It does something for him.
Okay. All right. So, look, this has almost been 2 hours, hour and a half. So,
I know.
Do you want to do it again? We'll figure out how this is. Okay. All right. Because you were getting into it, man.
Look, I told you I can talk about this stuff all
fucking
day.
honkies, you problem this.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. That was a friend of mine, Mona. I will definitely be having her back on here. We've had some lively discussions already since, so she's agreed to come back on here. I know I've had some audio issues. Those will be rectified after the 6th interview. Finally got some nice quiet areas to do the interviews on, and people that don't mind a little bit of the socially awkward questioning, socially awkward conversations. So I do appreciate you listening, and ask you to come back next time I have something else out. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.